In Pakistan, over the last 2 weeks, we have had some terrible mob violence. In this case, it's literally mobs ripping people out of their homes. First story is actually about a police officer. Oh, well, good. I'm sure he's going to uphold the law, right? Well, this story came out last week. A Pakistani police officer killed a man with an axe on Thursday for allegedly insulting the companions of the Prophet Muhammad. Well, that doesn't seem good. Well, there was a guy in Gujarat, his name was Tufail Haider, and he was being beaten up by a crowd of people, and Officer Faraz Naveed came in and took him to prison. So good, he didn't get lynched. I mean, damning with faint praise, but something positive. But apparently, while in prison, this guy kept mumbling, according to witnesses, about how the companions of the Prophet, the Sahaba, he was not in favor of them, and he spoke poorly of them. If you're a real Muslim and you actually believe, why would you care? Why would you care what a crazy guy in a jail? I mean, I think he's probably right. Whether he's crazy or he's rational, what difference does it make to you? How does it change the truth of the Quran? If you think that that is so insulting because it might affect other people and it might affect the truth of the Quran, well, then you're saying that the Quran is incredibly weak and that God is so weak that he would care about the ramblings of a guy in a prison at 5 a.m. in the morning. But, of course, Officer Faraz Naveed couldn't take it, so he decided that to enter the cell that he was holding him in and beat him to death, bludgeon him with an axe. Yeah, I know, I overuse it, but there's a great line in one of the Star Treks where Captain Kirk asks, why would God need a spaceship? If God is this powerful, and Allah is supposed to be the most powerful thing literally in the universe, why would he need you and your axe to help him? And doesn't he have fiery lakes for this guy for the rest of time? Is that not enough? No, it's because people, they don't really believe. And they're so insecure about it that if you even say, hey, you know what? I don't think that's true. That's it. I'm going to have to kill you because if I keep listening to you, I might realize you're right. That's the real problem. So now that's one heinous act. Let's go to another that's even worse. They explain in Reuters, this is again within the last 2 weeks, the latest incident took place in a village in Punjab province on Tuesday when a local cleric told his community through the loudspeakers of his mosque to punish the couple, it's a Christian couple, for burning a few pages of the Koran, a police source said. A mob then gathered outside the house of Shehzad Masih and his wife Shama in her 20s. They dragged them out and beat them to death. Their bodies were then set on fire in a brick kiln where they worked. So they worked at a kiln, that's where they worked. They're, the same ethnic background, they just happen to be a different religion. And they all work together there. This is a Christian couple, they're in the same community. Somebody makes up a story about how they burn the Quran. Now, I'll tell you why I think that's entirely made up. Which Christian couple in their right mind, in the middle of a deeply fundamentalist community in Pakistan, is going to go around burning the Quran? There's no way that happened. Somebody had a grudge out for them. This is like the Salem witch trials, right? Oh yeah, I don't like them. Who knows? Maybe one of them turned down somebody for sex. Who knows? I don't know why. But there's no way they burned the Quran in the middle of a fundamentalist crowd. Oh yeah, a bunch of crazed fundamentalists. Let's go burn the Quran, see how it turns out for us. They knew how it would turn out. They didn't do that. See, that's the thing. Once you're fundamentalist, you've lost all reason, and all you got to do is say, oh, that guy, he's the bad guy. Look, they're Christian over there, or an atheist over there, or an agnostic over there, or a Jew, God forbid, over there. Let's set them on fire. Fundamentalists are the scourge of the earth. Now, more details from Reuters. Blasphemy charges, even when they go to court, are punishable by death in Muslim-majority Pakistan. They're hard to fight because the law does not define clearly what is blasphemous. Presenting the evidence can sometimes itself be considered a fresh infringement. Think about how maddening that is. So if you're going to go defend someone, the very act of defending them might be a violation of, the blasphemy laws. So off you go too, everybody's killed. Again, the Salem witch trials, it's like, well, if I try to prove my innocence, how can I prove my innocence? Well, let's drown you in the water And if it turns out you drown, oh, you weren't a witch. Okay, congratulations, you're innocent. You're also dead, right? And they can't have defense lawyers. They can't have any kind of defense. Look at how pathetic this is. If you're a real Muslim, how little faith do you have in your religion, in your almighty sky God, that you can't even have a petty little human being, which he created, say, hey, you know what, I don't believe, or I believe in a different religion, or I don't believe in any religion. Who cares? You only care because you think they might be right. You're so deathly afraid of hearing them out. You say, I surrender. I cannot beat your ideas. I cannot beat you in a debate. I'm so afraid you have the truth that I'll kill you if you even start talking about it, because I'm afraid you're right and you'll convince the rest of us. That is the ultimate sign of defeat. And that's, the more fundamentalist you are in any religion, the more you're going to believe that. Now, Pakistan, unfortunately, has a lot of fundamentalists. Not every Muslim country does. And unfortunately, a lot of fundamentalists in a lot of different religions believe these crazy, crazy thoughts. But right now, it is running amok in some areas of Pakistan. Clearly, this is one of them. Finally, also in October, Reuters explains, a Pakistani court upheld the death penalty against a Christian woman, Asia Bibi, who's also accused of blasphemy, in a case that drew global headlines after two prominent politicians who tried to help were assassinated. They tried to help her, and for their efforts of being decent, just, moral human beings, they were killed in cold blood. The minute you raise your hand in violence, you are saying, I have lost. I've lost the battle of ideas. I will now resort to being an animal because I could not beat you as a human being, as a sentient creature. So I will try to pummel you to death because I have no alternative. I'm a savage, and you're right, I'm wrong, and I don't know what to do about it other than strike out in violence. And that is exactly what these fundamentalists have done.